Heavy rain and snow are coming on shore today along the west coast, northwest coast of the U.S., all the way from Washington State to Oregon into Northern California, with heavy rain in Idaho and high winds here as well, and high winds moving through the northern part of the U.S. as well today, potentially up to 70 to 80 miles per hour. And we have some enhanced rainfall here along the Gulf Coast, which could potentially bring some severe weather to the areas today. Some thunderstorms. And what's the current temperatures today? Let's take a look here. Generally, not that cold really. Near freezing here in the deep south in some areas in the Appalachians. The coldest air up here in the northeast and bottled up here into the northern high plains, upper Midwest. And the highest terrain of the mountains here, obviously colder with some snow. But if we put the surface fronts on here, I don't see them, but it should be here. Let me take the radar off, put the wind gusts on so we can look at the wind speeds. Yeah, so the wind speeds here, even though the fronts aren't showing up, it's the highest winds out west here, and that's going to move through the northern part of the U.S. With potentially winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour today in some areas. As far as the chance of rainfall for today, interestingly enough, there's nothing on the map here, which is interesting given the heavy rain that's ongoing right now. I would have thought there'd be something here, but apparently not. Tomorrow, this is when the big show begins. Apparently here, we get this onshore flow again. Heavy rain in Salem, Portland, Eugene area, right? With a slight risk for excessive rainfall, with a marginal risk surrounding it. Let's see. This is, yeah, Thursday through Friday. All right. So then we'll look at the precip totals, right? We got some increasing chance of precip here in the southeast, but nothing extraordinary here with the cold front moving through. And along the west coast here, potentially up to 3, 4, 5 inches, 6 inches here tomorrow. We'll get back to excessive rainfall, day 3. Up here into Maine, we have a chance of excessive rainfall on Friday. If you look at the QPF here, not overly impressive. The more impressive totals may be along the northern California coast on Friday. Go back to days 4 and 5. The marginal risk moves further to the south into northern California. And day 5, we got an increased risk again here along the west coast of the U.S. Into parts of California, moving a little further south with a slight risk of excessive rainfall surrounded by marginal risk. Now, severe weather. Kind of an interesting little graphic here. Looks like this is driven by high winds, almost guaranteed, right? Yeah. So, widespread high winds expected in these areas. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this is expanded a little bit, but this is definitely anticipated here to be a high wind event. I don't think there's going to be any tornado risk with this. No. With the day 2, we still have a marginal risk here in the parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas, parts of Illinois, Indiana, Missouri. So likely driven by high winds again. Tornado potential less than 2%. Same with hail. Let's go to the probabilistic for day 3. General thunderstorm expected along the west coast and extreme eastern parts of the U.S. along the mid-Atlantic, northeast coast, and Florida. Thunderstorm chances, you see where the thunderstorms are potentially here. 40% chance from 7 to 11 this morning, and then 10% chance here a little further inland. And in these areas here, Missoula, Butte, Boise, Lewiston, in those areas, 11 to 3 p.m. today. It moves further south and kind of stays along the Gulf Coast here. And this afternoon, much the same thing, but as this cold front moves through, chance of thunderstorms moving through Salt Lake City, Casper, Rapid City, in those areas today. So moving from west to east here, I'm going to talk about the different hazards that are accompanying the atmospheric river event coming up here. Okay, so when we look at precipitation in the western Washington area, Washington State, you could see precip pretty much 100% chances through Thursday, 4 p.m. And here's the precipitation amounts expected in western Washington through Thursday, 4 p.m. You can see it's not cumulative, right? It's just 12-hour periods. And daily accumulation is here. So the heaviest rain on day 2, which is 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. today. So this hasn't been updated. Let me check this again. Yeah, that's through today. That's today through tomorrow. You can see where the highest amounts are here. Okay, snow amounts. It's the highest amounts here in the feet. If you look at this, right? All right, so, and the wind is going to be a big factor too. Back this up. Sorry about that. 50 to 60 to 70 miles an hour in the mountains, especially on the inlet, in the sound there. Especially, this was yesterday, so this is yesterday through today, 4 p.m. and then moving on through here. So you can see the weather, the winds slack off some. You can see the highest winds are basically in the coastal waters here, especially in the sound, right? Just want to show you this. Kind of an interesting graphic here. So as far as the Medford, Oregon area, this is the messages for the Medford, Oregon area from the National Weather Service. Light rainfall late Wednesday night through Thursday. High snow levels above the passes. Gotta get my pen going here. And these are the precip amounts. Forecast, not too heavy here, right? And then Thursday evening through Friday evening is when it really picks up here. Quick rises on the creeks, streams, and rivers, etc. Not to heavy rain Thursday evening through Friday evening here. Strong winds. This is from the National Weather Service, Portland. High warning and wind warning until 6 a.m. Today. Wind advisory as well in parts of the area. You can see where the different high wind warnings and wind advisories are. And then wind advisory 10 p.m. Tuesday through 4 a.m. Wednesday for different areas here. So this is ongoing, but likely to slack off some today. Flood potential from the National Weather Service Portland office, Thursday, 18 December through Saturday. So all locations in Northwest Oregon and Southwest Washington. All right. Thursday, flooding in poor drainage areas. Landslides are possible anytime. Debris flows. And flooding is expected along faster responding rivers Thursday into Friday. If you're in a historical area that floods pretty easily, now, have an action plan in place here. All right, so can't emphasize that enough. From the Spokane, Washington area, I know this is a little further north here. Damaging winds Wednesday inland northwest between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., which is ongoing right now. Gusts up to 70 miles per hour or higher in certain areas this morning. And you see the highlighting here, extreme risk. So we'll be mindful about that today. This is the damaging wind forecast from the National Weather Service Spokane area. Strong southwest winds sustained 25 to 45 miles per hour, gusts of 50 to 70. Take action now, okay? So this is ongoing, guys. So this is probably going to be ending a little bit, winding down today, but this is the message from yesterday morning. So this is not something to just take lightly, all right? These high winds can really mess you up, so we got to be careful out there with these high winds. In the Spokane, Washington area, December 15th through the 19th. This is the weather impact outlook, okay? So we got, this was issued on the 16th, yesterday morning. Tuesday PM through Wednesday. All right, this is ongoing. Heavy mountain rain, high wind watch, snow levels dropping in the Cascades on Wednesday through Friday, today through Friday, heavy mountain snow, etc. So a lot going on here out west. Accompanying this is a increased risk of rock and mudslides in the Spokane, Washington area. Burn scars, steep terrain, up to 1 to 5 inches in Chelan County and 1 to 2.5 inches in Central Panhandle Mountains. So definitely a serious situation here. Moving on to the Montana area, west-southwest winds possibly 50 to 70 miles per hour with gusts 80 to 100 here. And the primary concern is this red shaded area in Idaho. So this is going to be happening today. This is a graphic from the National Weather Service Pocatello office, right? All these areas under high wind warning today. Strong crosswinds and blowing snow above that 7,000 feet. This is 5 a.m. today through 5 a.m. tonight. Just a lot of hazards out here, guys. I know I'm going to go through all the different areas as much as possible here. So there's quite a bit to go through. If I don't call out a certain city, then sorry, I'm doing the best I can with this here. So here we go. Peak wind gusts in the northern part. Wish I could see, yeah, Mountain Home, Idaho, Boise, Idaho, these different areas here. These are the wind gusts expected today. So 24 on max gust, 50, 60, 30, 40, 70 miles per hour to the east here, right? Now geography's kind of failing me here a little bit, but yeah, these It's gonna be really windy here, guys. So this is the timing for the winds coming through Great Fall, Montana weather forecast area. Winds increase along behind a cold front Wednesday. You see the, and this is today, just reading what they said here. So highest winds are expected from 6 a.m. on for most of the day, then diminishing overnight into Thursday. The strong winds persist into tonight. Sorry, getting my coffee. Slowly diminishing into the overnight, which we just talked about. Snow squalls here. If we got snow squalls coming through these areas when the cold front comes through, try to safely exit the road. Avoid slamming the brakes. Use your low beam headlights and hazards, and if allowed, and quickly exit the vehicle and move as far away from the road as possible if it's safe. Okay, so if you get in a wreck or something, get off the road. Okay. From the Riverton, Wyoming forecast area, above average temperatures are expected today. 60s and 70s for all these areas in Wyoming, above normal here. And sorry, so step back. I'm going too fast here. Wind gusts 60 to 70 miles per hour, with high temperatures in the 30s and up to 50s in outside the mountain areas. So all these areas in Montana. But we are going to have above average temperatures here, but with very strong winds, it's probably going to feel a little cooler than it normally would be, and it's going to have some lower valley rain and mountain snow, affecting travel over the Teton and the passes here. For the Glasgow, Montana area, forecast wind gusts today high in 60 to 70 mile per hour range for a good portion of the area here. Strong crosswinds on north-south highways, blowing snow near whiteout possible Wednesday night for tonight here. Gusts in excess of 70 miles per hour. Moving on to the Bismarck, North Dakota area. This was issued yesterday afternoon. These are the different hazards and when they're expected to happen here. Northwest North Dakota, the biggest hazards today, into tonight and overnight, from winds, blizzard conditions, and before that, maybe some freezing rain initially today, and transitioning to blowing snow, strong winds, blowing snow, blizzard conditions. So it's going to be a wide range of weather here, and we'll talk about that more as well. But trying to go over the hazards here. Another graphic showing the blowing snow and snow squall potential. Blizzard conditions. Near blizzard or blizzard up here in the northern part of North Dakota, and there's some areas could see brief periods of near blizzard conditions, and snow squalls will just add to the misery here. So high chances for blizzard conditions here in the red. High wind watch. West and northwest winds gusting as high as 70 miles per hour in western North Dakota, noon Wednesday in local time through noon Thursday. In central North Dakota, 3 p.m. Wednesday Central Time, 3 p.m. Thursday Central Time. Especially with high-profile vehicles. And here's the timing here. And here's the maximum wind gusts. So all these different areas here. From 3 p.m. onward, very strong winds here, maybe gusting up to 70 miles per hour. From Rapid City, South Dakota. High wind warning today for Wednesday AM through Thursday, this morning through tomorrow morning. Strong cold front. We talked about this. Gusts to 60 to 75 miles per hour are expected. Sustained winds of 30 to 55. Light rain changing to snow. High winds and snow, of course, reduced visibilities, etc. So, it's going to be difficult travel today. This is highlighting the maximum wind gusts and wind direction. Southwest winds will increase ahead of the front, and then northwest after the front passes. Southwest winds pretty strong, up to 50, 60 miles per hour. Then from the northwest, possibly 70 plus miles per hour. Union Center, Buffalo, Hoover, Bison, all these different areas here. So just nasty conditions today. This is the timing from the different areas here. So in addition to the high winds, you're going to have greatly reduced visibility, and these winds are already starting to pick up here, but will increase overnight for a large portion, all these areas here, reaching 60 to 70 miles per hour potentially. So very dangerous, all right? Which could cause you to lose control of your vehicle when you're driving. So don't be driving in this, all right? Unless you really have to, all right? Please don't. For the Denver, Boulder, Colorado area, wind gusts of 89 to 90 miles per hour for the mountains and foothills above 9,000 feet. There's lower confidence and gusts over 75 miles per hour for the portions of lower foothills and favor lower elevations west of I-25. And then medium to low confidence wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour about across the northern plains Wednesday evening tonight. Critical fire weather conditions are expected for the urban corridor, and the winds, the downslope winds will definitely aid in that. There'll be a lull in the winds on Thursday. It'll cool off, but still gusts of 35 to 50 miles per hour, and possibly another significant wind event on Friday. And then heavier snow is expected Wednesday in the North Park area. These are the critical fire weather conditions today for Denver, Boulder, Colorado area, with the possibility of the relative humidity values dropping as low as 15%, which is very dry, guys. So don't be burning out here today. Maximum wind gusts, just to the west of the Denver area into Boulder and up towards Fort Collins, right along the leeward side of the Rockies here, or right on top of the Rockies, really, the high elevations, 70, 80 miles per hour. Well, downslope winds also very strong. Maximum sustained wind speeds are on the left here, 40, 50 miles per hour. I'm sure that you folks out here are somewhat used to this, but this is still bad news for people trying to travel. All right, so yeah, this is 8 a.m. Wednesday through 5 a.m. This is 8 a.m. today through 5 a.m. tomorrow. There is a chance of snow Wednesday evening here in the mountains. Not really that much. Okay, so Heavy snowfall expected Wednesday evening, right? A light snow will develop in the mountains, but overall, not expected much, especially in the Denver area, mostly in the mountainous terrain here. Going back to South Dakota, there's some wind gusts expected in Aberdeen, South Dakota, up to 50 miles, 5 miles per hour over northeast South Dakota. This is today, so many of the prairie, Cote Siston Hills. This is where this area's here highest wind gusts are expected today. Noon through 9 p.m. Central Time today. High wind watch. On northwest wind 35 to 45 miles per hour with gusts around 60 here. For the Goodlan, Kansas area, there's also a high wind watch. This is for December 18th, which is tomorrow. 5 a.m. Mountain Time, 6 a.m. Central Time, for the entire tri-state area here. And for the Goodlan, Kansas area, today, partly cloudy, high 60 to 68, low 27 to 34. Very windy on Thursday. You see the highs and lows here. And then warming up on Friday, highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. That's about as much as I can do for the hazards here for today. So, yep. As far as the day 3 to 7 U.S. hazards outlook, since we've been talking so much about the West, you got the heavy rain, heavy precip chances, heavy snow, high winds, the 18th, which is tomorrow. And see if I can get a new, well, anyway, you see what this is supposed to forecast to be. This was made on the 15th. I wonder, let me stop. Yeah, this is a more updated graphic. Pretty much is showing the same thing, but they have some high winds possible here right along the northeast coast. Heavy precip on the 19th in the northeast. Hazardous cold with extreme northeast North Dakota, northwest Minnesota. Heavy snow in the teal areas, high winds, and heavy rain. Moving south here into California, parts of Oregon, heavy snow up here in the northwest. Hazardous cold in the parts of Canada here. So this is a temperature and wind chill chart. Not going to show this many more days, I guess, but I wanted to show the contrast of temp and wind chills here. So you can see generally not a lot of wind chill effects right now, but except maybe out west here a little bit. Temperatures generally relatively warm, except, in the kind of got a CAD favored areas here, and up in the northern Canada, up into Canada, of course, is colder, and temperatures in the negative digits here, single digits. Wind chills aren't as bad as they were, although still in the single digits here, parts of Minnesota, North Dakota, etc. And that's gonna change a little bit as the cold front pushes through, but that's it for right now. As far as the local area, widespread rain later this week with the highest amounts into the northern part of the state, or in the northeast part of the state here, approaching 1 inch. Severe weather, not likely. All right, so not worried about that. And warmer temperatures for the holidays. We've been talking about this. This is a likely scenario here. Highs in the 60s or even 70s are possible during this period through Christmas and afterwards. As far as today goes for the high temps, highs generally in the 60s to the 50s up north. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Cooling off tonight, highs in the 40s to maybe 50s way down south in the upper 30s to low 40s. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, here's where the rain chances increase from north to south. They kind of decrease some here. Generally in the 60s, mid 60s to the high 50s up north here, with approaching 70 down here into southeast Georgia. Yeah, so when we look at a little longer period here for the local area for temps and precip, generally expected to warm up, right, with some colder air, some cold front pushing through towards the end of the week. With precip chances, you see over here increasing, generally with no snow expected, right? With these high temperatures and lows, it's going to be pretty comfortable out there. But you can see the uncertainty as you get further out. Quite a large range here from the European ensemble. So, um, you know, it's hard to really predict 7 days out, much less 15 here. As far as a little bit longer term risk of heavy precip here, all along the west coast here, moderate to high risk, around Christmas time onward. So you can see what's going on here. Quite a busy map here. Slight risk of heavy snow in the purple areas. High risk of heavy snow in the Cascades, Sierra Nevada range and the Cascades. Moderate risk, slight risk, just a lot of different areas here. Gonna really build up the snowpack over Christmas time here. High winds. You see the highest winds are expected the 24th to the 30th up north, 24th through the 27th here a little further south, and slight risk all the way down to Texas up into the Great Lakes area, northern high plains, and parts of Alaska. This is a long video today, guys. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Yeah. This doesn't mean that it's not going to be below freezing up here in the northern U.S. This just means it's going to be warmer than normal, okay? So we're really holding on to colder temps in Alaska, extreme northwest, and extreme northeast. And precip chances will follow suit here. Suppressed precip, generally where the high pressure is, right? And you see where the bullseye here is. This is the percent chance of above normal precip. Doesn't mean there's going to be, it's not showing like amounts here, just the percentage chance nearing 100% here, right? And nearing 100% chance here in the deep south, in the central part of the U.S. of below normal precip, all right? 8 to 14 day, pretty good confidence for the good portion of the nation will be above normal, with maybe approaching near normal temps out west here. Alaska is still below normal. When we have below normal in Alaska, usually it's above normal for the U.S. That's still normal the way it works, right? But below normal, possible up here in the northeast, hanging on here with the below normal precip, all in the, pretty much east of the Rockies, with the exception of the northern to the U.S., and above normal out west here. Looking 3 to 4 weeks out, forecast to be below normal in the northern to the U.S., to near normal in the northeast and mid-Atlantic, and below normal for Alaska again. So Hawaii has just been above normal forever here. Of course, a little less certainty on the precip chances, but overall, with La Nina and the MJO the way it is, favors above normal precip along the northwest coast, potentially into the northeast in the Great Lakes area, and below normal maybe here, precip chances in the south. Now the atmospheric river, key messages here. We talked generally about this, so we know basically what's going to happen here. But um, this is just an overall key message for this. You can read this and stop and read this if you want. I'm not going to parrot it all to you because I know you can read. So take a second, stop and read it. Now, significant wind and snow event. This is was issued yesterday. Right, this is through December 18th. So very strong winds, heavy snow in certain areas. Chance of at least minor winter impacts near 100%, especially in the western U.S. here. Heavy mountain snow in the west, blizzard conditions in northern plains, and dangerous and destructive wind gusts, um, especially in the red shaded areas here. All right, so that's all I got for today, guys. It's a long video. I'm going to try to get this. Have a blessed day.